this beautiful plaza. One of the main plazas in Casco Viejo is called Plaza Herrera, named after this guy right here, General Tomás Herrera. And in front of us we see a famous hotel. It's called the American Trade Hotel in Panama City. And the American Trade Hotel has beautiful balconies, but you can also see at the bottom it's got a really nice restaurant and cafe down there, restaurant and cafe. It's just a nice place to hang out on the bottom. It was actually closed during most of the COVID era, so I'm kind of happy to see it came back a few months ago. Really nice restaurants here. As we turn down this corner in Casco Viejo, Panama, you can see that the streets are very narrow. And if you notice, it's so hot and sunny outside, but look, the street's shady, right? And it's got these overhanging balconies. The Spanish did that on purpose as part of the laws of the Indies, the Leyes de las Indias, which were decreed by King Philip of Spain as the rule book for how to make cities in the New World. And you can see they said specifically, you can find it online too, translated. They said if you're in a hot place, you had to build narrow streets so that the sun cannot penetrate down to the ground level. And if you're building in a colder environment, you should build wider streets to allow the sun to come in and warm it up. So this is one of the things that these cities that were built back in the 16 and 1700s are one of the things that make people want to come to Latin America even today, is they still have cities that are well planned thanks to the laws of the Indies. As we come to this corner, we can see right in the heart of Casco Viejo, we see a church. And we go up, it's the Iglesia de la Merced, which is the Mercy, Church of Mercy. And it's right in the center of Casco Viejo. It's the main functioning Catholic church in Casco Viejo right now. I've been there many times. It's got a great museum that I didn't even know about until, like 6 months ago or something like that, that in the back of it. So if you go inside this church, there's obviously the recent construction in the front, but if you go inside and you go toward the back and go out the back door, like you could go in this museum where they have all these relics of the colonial past, and it's really amazing. So these narrow shaded streets with balconies, flowers, lanterns, etc. Back in colonial times, people wanted a place where they could be safe and not have to worry about getting robbed or stepping in horse poop, which was everywhere because that was the transportation. So they built in Spanish colonial cities a lot of these courtyards, right? So today we still see some like leftovers. It's like an indoor-outdoor space. So like this one here has been converted into restaurant or hostel, etc. But if you look inside, there's an open air, it's kind of square in the middle. It's not a plaza because the plaza is like outside. It's a courtyard, so it's inside. So it's like inside, but it's outdoors. As you can see the sky. Hi, thank you. And so it was a way for people to be with their family. They could relax. They don't have to worry about safety, things like that. But they could still, be in the sun and be outside, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like kind of like a safe place indoors. There's an architect, a famous guy named Andres Duany, who has some videos where he talks about this D-U-A-N-Y. Okay, in the distance, you can see the Cinta Costera running across there, and then you see that kind of roller coaster thing going across. That is the Bridge of the Americas that goes over the Panama Canal. And you can see all the construction along the coast in the Casco Viejo. And right behind me, right here, this rather nondescript looking building is the French Embassy. And you can see the EU, European Union flag up there. French flag and the EU flag together. And they need to do a paint job on it. I'm not sure what's going on. Is there like a shortage of paint or something? But and the name of this plaza is called Plaza de France, right? The French plaza. You see it right there? Plaza de France. On the other side is the beautiful buildings, the Ministry of Culture, and all these beautiful steps that go up overlooking the Pacific Ocean out there. And here in the French Embassy in Plaza de France, on the door here you can see it's got these old Ambassade de France right there in the coat of arms, right? And you may know that Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité is the slogan of the French Revolution. And sure enough, speaking of equality, right, liberty, equality, and fraternity, they have this sign about a program on the front that the Embassy of France participates in, along with the United Nations Women's and other groups, to promote equality. It's Generación Igualdad, which means equality generation. And it talks about different programs that France participates in. Like, for example, one, it says at the top, por las mujeres en la ciencia, they try to get women more involved in science and programs to promote women in science. So that's a little bit of the French ideals in Panama. Plaza Carlos V, which is a little plaza right on the ocean that it really exemplifies a lot of things about Panama in a very small space. You have the history. It's called Plaza Carlos V, and it's dedicated to the former mayor of Panama named Juan Carlos Navarro. It's got the ocean. It's got these giant palm trees right here, and lots of vegetation. And it's got this beautiful, beautiful building here, colonial style building with the typical Caribbean pastel colors, you know, like a sky blue sort of color, light blue, powder blue, I don't know what that is. And it's beautiful. And it's got an indigenous lady selling from Guna tribe, I think, selling her textiles and blankets and stuff like that. And right across the street, amazingly, from this building right here, is this junky-looking building. It looks like, you know, slum, basically, right across the street. Somebody hanging laundry. So, you know, Latin America is a region of contrasts, and can't think of a bigger contrast between this awesome building right here and in Plaza de Carlos V, and this other stuff over here. I'm sure, see, it says se vende, which means for sale. I'm sure in a few years, these buildings will be bought up, and these buildings here will probably look like this other building behind me. The thing you see a lot in Panama's Casco Viejo is construction, because they're really flipping or, you know, overhauling a lot of these buildings. So you see these beautiful buildings like this, then you see like a pile of junk, you know, like right next door. And it's kind of a work in progress. It's such a beautiful, the bones, you know, so to speak, of Casco Viejo are so good. The basic structures historically are great. They just need a real overhaul and facelift, and a lot of them do. And some of them have already got it. Look at that beautiful church right there. So I think in 10 years, there's so much money going into this, you know, Casco Viejo right now. You know, all these nice buildings. I think that in 10 years, when all these things under construction are built and even more stuff, it's really going to be like super spiffy. You know, twice as many businesses, twice as many things to do, twice as many apartments, and it's really going to be a place to be. So that's Casco Viejo. You see it behind me. We're out on the other side. Like I said, it has a lot of potential for the future. It's really nice now, and they say COVID really hurt the economy in Panama, but I think people are paying construction workers, you know, by the dozens to go in there and fix those buildings. So it's a lot of really positive things going on in Casco Viejo today.